Welcome, ladies and gents. So I've got an exciting video for you today. As I like to do, I like to take a look at the industry, where it's going, and what the next thing will be, because it's just interesting. Box office hasn't been great lately for superhero movies. A lot of people claim superhero fatigue. I think it's a combination of bad movies as well as superhero fatigue. And I would say as well, a lot of that is down to how they utilize the IP. To send a narrative or a message that, it's just people aren't interested in. People don't want to hear this kind of stuff. So you'll be probably looking at this and going, what the hell is this? SCION. Well, that name will actually be pretty familiar to quite a few people. Quite a few people who play tabletop RPGs. So this is Onyx Path SCION. And this is an upcoming TV series that's just been announced. Believe it or not. Quite literally last week. There was a teaser trailer that dropped. This is on Jenkins and Tate Entertainment. This is the individuals that are developing the SCION TV series. And Brian Jenkins might be a name that's familiar to a few people. Brian Jenkins. Brian Jenkins. Now, this chap was actually influential in getting the Judge Dredd Mega City 1 TV series off the ground. So if you were really excited for that, he's the reason you were really excited for that. And unfortunately, due to things behind the scenes, he had to leave Rebellion and he started his own company instead. Well, the moment he left, Judge Dredd Mega City 1 just sort of fell apart. He was the driving force. He was the reason. He was the creative lead, essentially, on all of that. He is the only reason that got off the ground. Now, I'm sure there'll be people that dispute that. I don't give a shit. That's my personal opinion, having met everyone involved, and now just pretty clear as day the fact that it's not moving ahead. I would say that that's pretty apparent. But again, the point is that if you were excited for Judge Dredd Mega City 1, well, transfer your excitement to this instead, because I think this is worth your excitement. Now, what we'll take a look at here is their blog. And on their blog, they actually released an announcement trailer. Again, this kind of released last week. So again, sort of fell by the wayside. But let's take a look at this, and I think you'll like it. And then we'll sort of delve into what this actually is. Crisp 4K, ladies and gents. Right, I'll stop it there. My knowledge of this show is fairly limited, so I can't sit here and discuss in great detail what it is that we actually saw. I'm aware that it's pretty influential, representative of what's going to be happening within the show itself. But what is it? Well, SCION, the TV show, will be set in the UK, Season 1 anyway, introducing brand new heroic and well-loved characters from the original roleplay game for the first time in a live-action adventure series. Cool. Now, there was an announcement teaser poster a little while ago, which I thought was pretty cool. It's here, and I spy with my little eye. Well, this is literally part of that thing that we just saw. But I spy with my little eye a wee face. I see a wee face. I see a face. I see a face. And I think that's pretty indicative of something which is going to be within the show. So again, people that are aware of what this is, you might be excited by that. But, ladies and gents, what is this? What the hell is SCION, and why should you be excited for it? Well, Brian Jenkins, CEO of Jenkins and Tate, did actually do a pretty comprehensive blog. He did some sort of background on himself. Massive Star Wars fan, big in roleplay, absolutely loves role-playing games, and has gone on to obviously work on films, TV shows, computer games, etc., etc. You name it, he's pretty much, he's been in the industry for 28 or so years, really, really long time. And so, he's storied history, but has decided, what am I going to do? I'm going to set up my own stuff because the industry is not going in the direction that I personally want it to, or the direction that I think it could go in, and people aren't taking the risks. And that's what this is, you know, going and doing a tabletop RPG game. I don't think it's a massive risk because I think that's actually super smart. It's an untapped IP, it's rich in world building, and you just have to adapt it. I mean, there you go, done. It's literally the same as the superhero stuff. Comics, just adapt them. There you go, done. So, he also, actually, believe it or not, had his own YouTube channel for a while. But I digress. What is SCIONs? Well, so we'll scroll all the way down. Can you tell us more about the show? And this is what it is, essentially, right? So I can tell you that the story is set around our lead character called SCION Rose, who finds out that she is the daughter of one of the gods. So SCIONs are, it's all about the offspring of gods having to work together, because SCION, she had a vision by the Fates who showed her the rise of the Titans from their prison and the ending of the gods. Now, so within that vision, there is a broken man who will be the key to their release. So what is this? Well, it's the story about the sons and daughters of gods, and obviously they've got special abilities and powers because they're demigods, having to work together, a bit like superheroes. Yeah, so there's that sort of powerful element there. Interesting, but there's also steeped in religion, which is interesting as well. And I say religion, but a lot of it's just myth and legend now. Having to work together to prevent a great evil, the rise of the Titans. I think that's brilliant. I think that's awesome. Absolutely great. Yeah, love it. Now, there was some other pieces, so about... so this is interesting, right? And I think this will give people a large amount of confidence in what this is. So let's talk SCION. What is about the title in particular that makes you want to take it to TV? So from day one, our remit has been about taking popular culture products to TV. SCION is a no-brainer because he's a fan of the game, but as someone who works in production, this title has it all. The exciting about RPGs is that a group of people who have sat down and fleshed out a very detailed world which has a rich background, great NPCs, villains and creatures. Our job is to set a story within that and create something different groups of people can relate to. Characters they can get behind is important to us, and stories that have meaning. We agreed from the beginning we didn't want to force our own beliefs into the show. Bloody round of applause, Brian. That sounds sarcastic. It's absolutely not. Ladies and gents, that will be music to so many people's ears. No bloody messages. Just make a bloody good story, alright? I'm sick of this crap. Absolute garbage that is being produced in this day and age. I want to tell my truth. No, fucking no one's interested in your truth, mate. No one's interested in this. You hear this time and time again. That's why the comic industry is on its knees. That's why the movie industry is currently losing hundreds of millions of dollars week on, week out because they're producing garbage. Make good stories. That's all you need to do. So Season 1, again, it's all centered around those demigods working together. Season 1 was going to be in the UK. Story begins in London with our lead character SCION Rose, then Scotland, Wales and Ireland. Season 2 is going to be filmed in Europe, and Season 3 is going to be in the US. Now I'm aware, actually, I believe that the idea is that Brian will be looking at getting, individuals that are familiar with the UK to work on Season 1, for directing and stuff like that, and then Season 2, Season 3, Europe and the US. Basically getting those individuals that are familiar with it to make it a bit more authentic. I think this is great. I think this is good. This is a good time. And then there's loads of little things that they want to do. It looks like they want to get an ARG going. So, they're looking at getting people... so there's sort of like hidden clues. So here you have it. I wanted to incorporate the idea of hunting and solving hidden clues into our marketing and advertising. So that's where that face comes in, ladies and gents. I already spotted that. So fans of the game could join us on an adventure as they discover hidden secrets that are directly connected to the show. So this is a fan. This would almost be like, this is basically like Henry Cavill working on making his own Warhammer stuff. This is what this is. It's a fan that has the ability to create his own series and is now doing that. So this, I think this is positive. I think this is really good. This is a good direction for the industry to go in. So what do you guys think? I thought you'd be interested in this. I am, personally. I've said it for a while. I think that's the future. Well, not necessarily the future, but the next big thing that is going to happen, you know, is that they'll realise that there's a wealth of content to be mined. And what's happened here is Jenkins and Tate have got in at the ground level. But anyway, let me know what you think. People that are familiar with SCION, help them all out in the comment section. Let them know if it's any good. I mean, you're familiar with it. You probably are. You know, you do think it will be good. But anyway, cheers, guys. Take care.